Bonus episode 1. Quotes won't work unless you do.
You're listening to the very best podcast in the world on health, wealth, and happiness. Please remember to leave a review and share with all your friends and family. And here is your host, Lars Hilser.
And in case you are thinking, this is new, this is new. Welcome to the very best podcast in the world, your only source in the universe for personal supremacy through health, wealth, happiness, and bonus episodes on very rare occasions. So, while researching for the podcast, in the process of evaluating the idea of the first podcast idea, right? I don't know if that makes any sense. I joined a humongous amount of Facebook groups and Telegram groups and whatnot groups to research what my wallet raping colleagues were up to, right? And one of the reoccurring themes of a large variety of these groups is really that they post meme type things, not meme, the pictures. And on that, they will have all sorts of bullshit motivational quotes, which a lot of people fall for. So they have the the anticipation of, hey, I'm going to read this quote and I'm going to be a billionaire, son. Well, here's the catch. That don't work. And so today, just now, which is the reason that I'm recording it and immediately publishing it, is that I came across this quote, which was fucking interesting because it just goes to say that quotes won't work unless you do. And that's what we're going to dig into for a little bit after our housekeeping. Yes, even on the bonus episodes, I will not fucking spare you from having to listen to the mantra of this podcast, which is sharing is motherfucking caring. So if this episode, for instance, or any other of the close to 200 resonate with you only partially, maybe you've achieved the skill, maybe you are on a level of personal supremacy that seeks its own whatever. However, there is a very high likelihood that there's going to be someone in your sphere of influence, in your circle, so to say, that's going to be in a position where they could actually benefit from the episode that didn't resonate 100% with you, maybe only 50, but for that person, it may be insanely helpful. So it is your obligation as a loyal subscriber, at least ethically, to share this episode with them, period. End of story. Now that we have that out of the way, one of the most successful episodes of this podcast was the one about the financial freedom exercise, I think was the title. I think it's episode 40, if you want to dig into the archives, where I outlined that, the time you spend procrastinating, another interesting topic I spent 3 episodes on, don't exactly recall what the episodes are called. It's starting from number 91, if you want to listen to them. How to beat procrastination, essentially. Anyhow, we've been covering shitloads of stuff on the episodes, which has one common denominator, right? You're not going to be rich. You're not going to be successful. You're not going to be anywhere else than in your, 9-to-5 hamster wheel, unless you actually fucking do something about it. You do something, You recognize that the position you're in is not fulfilling you, or you are dissatisfied because you've been doing the same thing for too long, right? And it's gotten boring. And whatever it is that may trigger your desire to change, a quote on a fucking picture is not going to do the trick, right? You're going to have to dig in for yourself, and you're going to have to get your hands dirty, and you're going to have to walk the extra mile, do the extra mile, I don't know. You get the point, right? You're not going to get away from the position that you're in currently unless you actually do something about it, right? So how do we do something about it? Well, first of all, we're not going to do anything by looking at pictures on Facebook. We covered that on the algorithm episode, right? And on all of this social media BS that I've been, repeatedly kicking in the teeth, simply because social media has one objective, and that's where pretty much all the platforms are alike. They are there to suck you in and to keep you on the platform as long as fucking possible. And they do it with billions of dollars and very complex algorithms, which are very hard for the weak human mind to beat. Period. Right? So whatever it is that, triggers you, it's going to be on those social platforms, and you're going to get served this content. Because the longer you stay, the more advertisements can be injected into your streams, the more money your social media platform of choice makes. It's logical, right? So, 2 reasons, not to really look at hundreds of quotes in all of these motivating groups. I've done it for you. They're useless. The only way you're going to change from your current position to, whatever it is you desire, if you want to be a millionaire, if you are looking for the love of your life, if you are, whatever it is, right? If you want to excel in your job, whatever it is you want to change about your current situation, you're not going to get there by looking at fucking pictures on Facebook, right? Just imagine looking at sleazy magazines and thinking you're going to get that girlfriend. No, you're not. It doesn't work like that. Same goes for these motivational quotes. Now, if you need these, to get somewhere, right? If you need, or not to get somewhere, but if you need these to get up, get out of your seat and get started with making the changes you're looking for. There's nothing to say about that, but be very, very, very careful, because all of a sudden you're going to be sitting there looking at the 1,000th quote, and you're not going to have changed anything, because at the end of the day, you're still procrastinating, and you've wasted 3 fucking hours trying to get yourself out of the seat you're sitting in by looking at quotes that should actually do that. So if the 1,000th doesn't do it, the 2,000th won't. And, all of a sudden you're going to be sitting in your chair for 6 hours looking at this BS, which essentially it is, while the only fucking thing that can do something for you in a situation like that is yourself getting up out of the chair and putting in the extra effort, the time that you spend watching TV, the time you spend smoking your joint, and beaming yourself out of this terrible world. Hey, the world ain't fucking terrible. It's a great place to be in, right? And that's what it's really about. So, getting back to the title, quotes won't work unless you do. I think, I brought the point across quite clearly. And everyone that's going to post one of these motivating quotes, I'm going to actually post this episode under their quote, under their motivational quote, just to get people motivated, to get them to snap out of the illusion that these things, are actually at all helpful, right? They may be reminders, and occasionally that can be good, but you ain't getting anywhere by looking at these pictures. So in that sense, I hope I've been clear and not too stringent. Yeah, you guys have a nice rest of your, what day is it? Tuesday, I think. And if you've had a nice Tuesday, have a good night. Dream of all of these pictures, because tomorrow you're going to get your ass up out of bed, out of that chair, and change your world. Bye, folks.